Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Old School Matt here. I'm back with another Motivation with Old School Matt, Motivation Monday, starting up with my own YouTube channel, stepping away from Water Buffalo TM's YouTube channel, trying to grow my specific brand for myself and give you guys more value on top of just the fitness content that I want to do. So we're going to be switching over the Motivation Mondays from Water Buffalo TM to my personal YouTube channel. You're going to check this all out on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on my LinkedIn. So make sure to check this video out and check out the rest of the videos on this channel, Old School Matt's YouTube channel. Staying old school and always doing the best. So if you guys haven't been tuned in to the Motivation Monday videos with Water Buffalo TM, welcome. It's a video I do every Monday, and we're specifically going to be talking about things that are going to motivate you, make you feel ready for the week, make you feel excited, make you feel ready to accomplish your goals. And today's Motivation Monday is going to be a little bit specific. It's going to be a little bit special. And let's just get into the topic for today. Let's talk about the top 5 motivational movies that I think you guys should watch this week whenever you have free time, that not only will allow you to have a little bit of that feeling like you're free, it'll also make you enjoy what you're doing and take notes on these specific movies that will motivate you. So my number 1 motivational movie has to be Whiplash. It's a movie with Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. It is an incredible movie about a drummer who has not yet reached his potential. And throughout the movie, they do a whole back and forth, Mr. Miyagi type of style where they're going ham on the drums and music specifically. And now I'm not a big music guy. As you guys know, I'm into the fitness realm. I'm into all this different types of things regarding fitness and wellness. But this movie is specifically super motivational. And the reason why I say this is because this movie really pushes the individual to think, are they doing whatever it takes? In summary, Miles Teller is a new drummer. He's new to the scene of orchestra, and he just got accepted to the college of his dreams. And this college is a specific college based on orchestra and jazz, and he plays his heart out in the beginning classes, which gets him promoted to the next level of classes. And then from here, he's able to meet J.K. Simmons, which is his coach or his conductor, and they have this back and forth, and it's incredible because there's so many powerful scenes, so many things that really push ourselves to think, are we doing whatever it takes? And it goes way, way deep, and probably more deep than anyone will ever be in terms of reaching success. But the whole point of this movie is that if you push yourself hard enough, if you keep going without getting the gratification from others, and there's a line in the movie that I love specifically, and this is why it falls for my number 1 movie. Watch this movie if you don't watch any of the movies here, is because J.K. Simmons tells Miles Teller, the worst 2 words in the English language are the words good job. And I think that this phrase, the scene in the movie, it's so powerful because it makes him realize that if someone's there to pat you on the back, if someone's there to tell you about all your accomplishments rather than critique your negatives, you're never going to achieve greatness in the sense of being one of the best to ever do what you do. And this coach, masterpiece type of dynamic duo that they have is just incredible, and I recommend everyone to watch this movie, number 1. Okay, number 2, guys, is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a movie called Stand and Deliver. It's a movie about a inner city school that develops a math program based off of one teacher, Jaime Escalante. It's based off a true story, so this movie is actually incredible. And the reason why I say this movie is because it delivers a message that no matter what you are, no matter where you come from, what race, what ethnicity, what background in terms of finances, you can accomplish anything you want in life, and you can do whatever you want. And this movie is extremely powerful because it delivers a sense of accomplishment. It starts with Jaime Escalante, a new teacher. He just quit his job as an engineer to teach these students in inner city LA. They're not very strong in anything, and the whole board of directors and the school and everyone just doubts him. And the really powerful thing about this movie is that he's teaching kids who never learned math before, and then they go on to pass the AP calculus exam at the end of the movie. And it's incredible because what happens throughout the movies, you see this connection between Edward James Olmos, which is playing Jaime Escalante, the real teacher in real life, and his students. And it's powerful because these kids are struggling. They have their own lives. They have their own things going on as high school students. And he pushes them to go to summer school to learn up all the math they need to learn before calculus. And in the end, they all end up passing the exam. But the twist is, and I'll keep it kind of brief so you can kind of enjoy the movie if you decide to watch it, is that they have to take the exam again. And this kind of plays with the whole racial dilemma that we see in society nowadays between white versus Hispanic, and do some kids cheat their way through life, and are there shortcuts? And the school board has a testing third party that comes in and audits them and says they determine they're cheating. So the kids actually have to go back and take the test again, which is incredible because they pass it again the second time. And that's the whole thing about the movie. And one of the most memorable lines of the movie is that in order to do something, you have to have ganas. And ganas basically means the desire to want to do something, the desire to want to achieve. And it's powerful because in this movie, you see these kids struggling with all these topics, and he believes in them, and he goes above and beyond to push himself and push other students in his classroom to achieve greatness by passing this exam. And they go on to be, great. I recommend anyone watching this video to go watch that movie. Number 2. Number 3, another movie that I find very motivational and that I find that you guys will love has to be Spider-Man 2. And I say Spider-Man 2 because Spider-Man 2, you see, a lot of the people who are watching this video might have seen this movie many times, but maybe go rewatch it. And there's a dynamic between Tobey Maguire, which is playing Peter Parker, and himself. That's the whole struggle of the whole movie, is that he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore because he wants to be with the love of his life. Don't simp out, reach your goals, achieve your goals, and the girl you're with will understand basically the moral of the story, the hardcore moral of the story. But basically, he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. He doesn't want to fight crime. He just wants to be with his girl. He wants to live a regular life. And the problem here is that he realizes that to be able to be great, he has to sacrifice what he wants the most. There's a scene in the movie between him and his aunt where the aunt kind of knows that he's Spider-Man, but she doesn't tell him. And indirectly, she says, something along these lines, in order to do what's right, sometimes we have to give up what we want the most. And what he wanted in the moment was to be with the girl, Mary Jane, in the movie MJ. And he decides giving that up in order to be Spider-Man. He saves the day and blah, 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 the whole story. But that was such a powerful scene.
Even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most. Even our dreams.
Another powerful scene in this movie is when he fights his dead uncle. In his mind, he's saying, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. I just want to live a regular life. I can't do it. By the end of the movie, though, he becomes Spider-Man again, and he ends up saving the day, which is kind of cheesy, but it's great because he realizes that if the girl really loves him, she'll stand by his back, and that's how it plays out. Okay, guys, number 4 motivational movie on my list has to be Wolf of Wall Street. A little bit of a twist here, a little turn, and this movie is a little bit, it's much. It's very high energy, very sexual, and there's a lot of crude stuff in there, and I recommend if you're going to watch this movie, you should make sure you're ready for that. There's a lot of drugs and sex involved in the movie, but the main topic of this movie is selling, is business. And I know they get caught about doing some shady stuff, but I think the moral of the story here is that the harder you work, the more that you push and just grind, the easier things are going to be in life. And it kind of teaches you the value of being a professional and doing these things and having skills and being able to sell and push a product. And it's a great business movie. And I know it's blown out of proportion. There's a lot of different things in there that probably won't fit the narrative and probably won't be frankly legal, but the topic of the movie is a great topic to think about. Selling, pushing, being the best you can, and not settling for less, and keep striving to be more. Don't do any of the drugs in this movie, obviously, but there's some incredible scenes, especially the first scene where he starts to sell the penny stocks when he's kind of talking to the guy on the phone, and everyone's so amazed by him. So make sure to go check out that movie. It's a great movie as well.
$60,000. Jesus, that's my mortgage, man. Exactly, you could pay off your mortgage. This stock will pay off my house. John, one thing I can promise you. I asked them to judge me on my losers because I have so few.
And then to top off this list, number 5, it's not just one specific movie, it's the Dark Knight Trilogy. And I think this is a great movie because not only is it a superhero movie, amazing superhero movie, but I think it's a movie where you see the development of a character throughout 3 movies. You see the rise of somebody, you see the fall of somebody, and you see the rise again. And I think this is a great movie. And some of the memorable lines from the Dark Knight Trilogy, I'm not going to go into it specifically, but some memorable lines that I remember is when he talks to Alfred, who's his butler, and he tells him he wanted to create a entity outside of himself, because himself as a man, you know, Christian Bale playing Bruce Wayne can be corrupted. He's rich. People know that rich people, you know, are corrupt and they can do things. But he says if he creates a symbol, then everybody will look up to the symbol because it could be just like them. And I think this is the great thing about superheroes, especially, is because he allows you to think you could be that person. You could be this, you could be that.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting, elemental, something terrifying.
And it makes you feel like, you know, almost you could put that mask on and you can kind of take yourself out of the equation and be more about a purpose. And you see throughout the different movies, he fights crime and he does the right thing at the end of the day, even though it's hard. And what's really great about this movie is that he even takes the blame in the second trilogy. He says that, you know, Harvey Dent in the movie commits a crime, who's the district attorney, and what happens is that it's either they blame it on him and then the whole city goes back to shit, or they blame it on Batman because Batman's a symbol and he can take it. And then in the last trilogy, part of the trilogy, you can see the rise again to occasion and kind of come into truth with everything, and the ultimate sacrifice as he dies at the end of the movie, which is another great, you know, thing. The ultimate sacrifice is just great movies. I definitely recommend you guys check these movies out in your free time. Instead of watching some corny shit, take these movies apart, break them down, think about them on a philosophical level, and you'll enjoy it. This is another Motivation Monday with Old School Matt. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for tuning in on this episode of Motivation with Old School Matt. There's plenty more to come, but I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my other channel, Water Buffalo TM, as we keep growing and going. I had plans to doing this for a while, and I'm finally launching it, so I appreciate any support I can get. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll stay tuned with you guys, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.